Hey guys, it's Tony with our Fix It Monday RV segment where we fix everything that went wrong on our camping trip because RVs are so well constructed. So on our last trip to the Keys, I didn't notice it till we got home, but when I unplugged the electrical cord, apparently the electrical connection just fell apart. So when we got back home and I went to plug it in, I realized that it looked like this. I don't see it. It appears like it arced a little bit, and I didn't know what was going on. One of the prongs came out with the cord, and it stuck in the cord end. And then I just took the 4 screws to take this off, and I started taking this compression clamp off, and this whole thing just fell off, which means that these wires were never, obviously, see these wires poke into here, and then you tighten up the screws here. So for 5 years, those wires have just been hanging on by a prayer. So it's kind of surprised that it took that long to arc and melt like it did, because there is some melting in there. Luckily, it doesn't look like the wires are too bad that I'm going to cut them off and restrip and put new ones on. So we got a new power port. It's a square one versus a circular one. I couldn't get a Furion, which is what this one was, for a while. So we'll see. This is ETL listed, so it should be okay. So I just loosened one screw up, and now the whole clamp comes off. So
bye.
Fine quality piece of installation there. So I will say, if you're not comfortable working on the 110 system, please get somebody professional to do it. Obviously, the unit's not plugged in because this is where the unit plugs in, and I do have the battery disconnected just in case, so it doesn't arc out and blow a breaker or blow a fuse or anything. So you can see there is some wear on the wires here, so I'm going to cut those off. And we'll start anew.
And the new outlet, is that what it's called? Outlet?
Inlet, yeah.
Oh, okay. He did purchase off Amazon, and so we'll link to it below this video.
So just be careful you don't cut into your insulation any. They make a special stripper to cut this, but it should be okay. So first step is to make sure you put the backside of the clamping ring on. And then,
and what does the clamping ring do?
So it'll lock it puts pressure on this. You always want the wire supported so it's not rattling, because it'll rattle itself out. I guess it's possible that it rattled itself out, but it sure seemed pretty loose when I took that original one off. Slide that over. You want to get that over the insulation. Slide that back. And then, pretty simple, you hope. So this is marked with a white paint, green, which is your ground, which is the bare wire, and then the black, which is your hot. So your neutral, ground, and black.
Is there a particular order? Like, do you always want to do like your hot wire last?
No, it doesn't matter, because I mean, like, your power's shut off, so you want to make sure they're all tight. So you have to loosen up the screw, and these are stab connectors, which are nice. Stab connector, you just push in the back and then you tighten the screw up instead of having to make a loop on it, like on a receptacle. You take your pliers and you make a little loop, and then you put around the screw and you tighten the screw up.
Gotcha.
Some receptacles have these. Oh yeah, you get that paper. Make sure you get the paper and the insulation out of the way. And you want to put them pretty tight, especially in something like this that's moving around. And you always want to make sure you have a ground. Making these pretty tight. Sure sure there's a torque spec on them, but I don't have a torque screwdriver. All right, so make sure they're in there pretty good. Double check. W to white, green to ground, black to the unmarked, which is the hot. Typically on most receptacles, you would have a gold screw there. Always make sure you see an ETL label, especially buying stuff from China. So this back shroud goes on there, and then you go like that, and I cut a little too much insulation off, but this should be okay. This is going back into a cavity where all our other surfaces are. So feed that back in, try not to kink it. So what I'm gonna do is put some butyl tape.
What's butyl tape?
So butyl tape, most of the items that are in the side of the RV, you put butyl tape around it before you put it on, and that's actually what you get your waterproof seal from.
Oh.
So it kind of smushes, and then if you look, most of these have caulk, so then you caulk the top and the sides and leave the open bottom open, so if any water gets in, it can drain out a little bit.
Right.
Squirrel!
We have a lot of those. They're enjoying our dog Hobie not being outside right now, chasing them.
Actually, I'm not going to put any butyl tape on that because that does have a gasket on it, and I don't want that to interfere. So if you have a gasket, I'm going to probably put that on and then check it. Like I said, we are in a tropical depression, so we'll have a good opportunity to see if it's getting rain on it. I initially thought, because this Forest River has about the stupidest design ever of having all the water connections over top of the electric, that when I disconnected, I had started to disconnect the electrical before I forgot to turn the breaker off. And I had just taken the water off and some water dripped. So I thought some water maybe had dripped inside of it and arced across, but now I'm thinking the wires that just came loose, and I mean, it's possible there's some moisture in the air and they arced. So hopefully the screws match up. Ooh.
What?
This is pulling in. Yeah, I'm definitely going to caulk that. So we'll see. But and that hopefully should be it. I'd turn all your breakers off inside before you reconnect. And don't turn your air conditioning on until you're pretty sure everything's working right, because you don't want to burn up the refrigerator, because you don't want to burn up the motherboard in those, because those are expensive. And that's it. So I bought a new cord. Like I said, there was some evidence of some heat on the other cord. So went ahead and bought this one on Amazon at the same time. And I'll probably take the old one and make an extension cord out of it. Just cut the cap off and make sure there's no damage.
And we'll link to this one as well.
Yep.
That's neat. The ring to like make sure it's sealed tight.
Well, let's make sure it doesn't fall out.
Yay! And I just heard the microwave ding. Woo! Yay!
We have air conditioning again.
Woohoo! Good job, hon. Yay.
So again, if you don't feel comfortable with 110, which is perfectly reasonable not to, please have a qualified RV technician take care of this.
Safety first.
Safety first, please. And if you do decide to do this, we take no responsibility if you fry yourself or burn your RV down. So thanks for watching.
Bye guys, thank you.